This one right here is for my Stephen King fans. The latest Stephen King film adaptation is in theaters. It's called The Long Walk. It chronicles 100 teenage boys that are forced to participate in a grueling walking endurance contest set in a dystopian America. One of the film's stars, Judy Greer, was asked by our Joe Weil about the allure of working on a Stephen King-inspired movie.
Well, Stephen King, honestly. I mean, it's going to be well written. The characters are going to be complicated and interesting, and people are going to go see it. So, I mean, once I read the script and the book, I was so moved by the story. And then I met with Francis Lawrence. I'd been a huge fan of his, and I think he has the ability to tell great, big, giant, fancy stories in like a really intimate, connected way. And I really like that. I really want to see something beautiful on screen, but also feel connected to the people.
And Francis, he wrote in the director's statement, I thought this was really interesting, Judy. He wrote, originally written in 1967 as an allegory for the Vietnam War, somehow King's novel feels just as relevant and timely in 2025. Do you share that same sentiment that this is actually like the perfect time for this movie to come out?
Yeah, I do. And I'm glad to know it was 1967 because I've been saying 69, so I've been wrong in all my other interviews. Um, but I think it is super relevant. I think it is the perfect time to tell this story. And I think that Stephen King movies and his stories are so universal that like they do kind of stand the test of time. They don't necessarily, I think, adhere to something that's like really, I don't know, you can kind of look back on all of his stories and think you could make these movies at any time and they would work. But I think the reason for that is the universal themes that he writes about, especially in movies like the Long Walk, like Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption. Like these movies are about like the human spirit and about connection and love and compassion. And yes, they are horror movies, but they are so much bigger than that. And that's why I think it stands the test of time. Sorry.
No. And I was just going to say, and speaking of some of those themes you brought up, like the love and compassion, the human spirit, I thought the on-air chemistry with you and Cooper Hoffman was fantastic. And just watching this film, how did you guys establish that mom-son chemistry on screen?
I don't know. It was pretty easy. We met before our first day of work together. We had a really fun lunch with Francis and the screenwriter JT Molnar, and I don't know, we just like immediately hit it off. I think Cooper has a really good sense of humor, and comedy is always my way in with people. So if he can joke and I can joke, then I think that we were good to go. Plus, the material was so dramatic, those scenes between him and I, that we really needed to find some like lighthearted banter between takes. Otherwise, I think it would have been unbearable. But he's such a good guy and he's so fun and funny, and then he can just turn it on and break your heart. So I just had a lot of respect for him as soon as I met him.
When in your career did you feel like you could take on dramatic roles like this one in this film?
Well, actors always think that we can do anything. We're like, I can play that, I can play that. So probably when I was born, but after I did this movie several years ago called The Descendants, and after that movie came out, I think just being sort of chosen by Alexander Payne was a real confidence builder for me. Although the role ended up getting a big laugh, it's like it's a dramatic moment. I feel like that made me feel really confident. But also, as I get older, I just feel like I have a lot more compassion for different types of people. So I feel connected to different types of characters and stories.
And you played this role so well. It's a great movie. People should go check it out. It's called The Long Walk. Judy Greer, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.